Welcome to your Daily 5 for Thursday, May 2nd, 2024. If you follow technology news at all, then I'm sure at this point, like many others, you are sick of hearing about whatever flavor of AI, whatever there is for this week. I mean, it's just a thing you can't get away from. It's everywhere, and it's going to continue to be everywhere because now we're seeing actual physical products coming out. There are rumors that Apple is going to have some type of AI initiative they'll announce at WWDC. And just generally, this is the thing that the tech industry has latched onto as their savior of the year or whatever. And I've talked about my opinion of the actual technology before, but it has occurred to me because people are now starting to talk about, is there an AI winter coming? Because the Humane AI pin and the Rabbit R1 have come out and they've been extremely underwhelming. And people just don't seem to really care about this outside of Silicon Valley and people that are into tech. And I think that what I am now starting to consider as the biggest threat to this technology is not going to be legal challenges. It's not going to be the environmental impacts. It's not going to be any of that stuff. It's going to be, well, kind of a combination of things, but I would call it the streaming effect. Because I think about where we are with streaming services now, that many of them are desperately raising prices, that it's becoming very clear that most of these services are going to have to consolidate, and we're going to end up with an online version of cable TV. The thing that everybody thought streaming was going to save them from, well, that's what streaming is going to end up becoming because we're seeing a lot of consolidation. Again, we're seeing multiple price hikes all over the place, sometimes several within a year, and it's become very clear that, like so many other tech initiatives, these companies were cruising on the idea of we'll just have exponential growth and we'll take a loss for a while. And then once that dries up, we're going to actually have to start passing along the true cost of this stuff. And people are starting to cancel these things. Or the companies are having to merge just to survive. And there's no guarantee that's going to be a long-term solution. It's just something they're doing right now. And when I look at the AI space, I'm seeing similar things where all these tools and everything, all they seem fun to play in and everything else, but now we're starting to see that they're going to have subscriptions. Now we're starting to see what the actual cost of these things are, coupled with the fact that they don't always work very well. Now, of course, anybody who's an enthusiast is going to point to some great shining example of what the technology can do, but then you can easily point to another example of what it isn't able to do. And that's all fine. If you're talking about something that you don't have to pay to use, then sure, a toy is fun. If you get some genuine utility out of it, then that's great. But they're going to start charging for these things for any actual use cases that people might need. And you couple that with the fact that a lot of people don't know and don't care about this technology, or if they know about it at all, they have an automatic negative view of it, which I don't see any of these big tech outfits that are pumping out this technology and saying everybody should use it. It is stunning to me how little PR effort there is into getting people not to be afraid of this stuff. And I don't mean afraid like Skynet, not the ridiculous examples. But there are, for example, I asked my mother and my sister about these tools, what they thought of them. My mother knew nothing about them. And when I described what they did, she just didn't seem to see any use for it. She didn't understand why she would ever have to use it. And I said, well, you could ask your phone to do, I don't know, to tell you where the nearest restaurant, whatever. And she kind of went, oh, all right, didn't really care. But it was very clear that there was no actual investment in it. Now, obviously, my mother is older, so it's not exactly the target crowd. So I thought, oh, I'll ask my sister. She's far younger. She's 8 years younger than me. And my sister had a very negative reaction about it, did not like it at all. Said, nope, I don't want any of this stuff. I think the term she used, the phrase was, there's already too much technology that's all around me. I don't need something else to try to add to that. And I thought, okay, well, that's two ordinary people who have zero interest in tech, they both have iPhones, so they're using new phones. They don't not use technology at all. My mother has several smart devices in her house, and she's actually quite happy with how dumb they are from what she's told me. And so you couple that with the fact that, and that's before I even said, oh, and it's going to cost you something. Because again, it seems inevitable that the most useful examples of this technology are going to incur some type of cost. Because when you look at what it takes to power them, and the fact that a lot of this has been done on VC investment and kind of speculation, I don't know how this stuff doesn't end up having some type of pretty considerable monthly subscription. And if most ordinary people don't even know what this stuff is or can't immediately grasp what the utility is of it, then I don't know how it survives as anything other than a niche item, another NFT or crypto scenario. I don't know. You can tell me. I'm open to listening, but that's how it looks to me. And that to me is the biggest threat to these tools. So we'll see what happens. Later.